I actually did get a message this morning from one of our members who sort of asked a question, but it sounds like she kind of figured it out. She says she recently stopped the process to join a non collegiate sorority and had an interesting dialogue with herself and ultimately concluded that she was only joining out of insecurity with loneliness. She said she also didn't feel this a spark from the leader, or that leader was someone who could pour into her the way she needed. So, not really a question, but I think a really good thing to think about, um, whether it's joining a group or other things we do. And I feel like we may have talked about this in another Ask Dr. Joy, but um, oftentimes it's hard to really know what the motive is for what we do, whether it's who we're dating, what job we want to apply for, who we're friends with, what we're wearing, even, right? And so I think this is great insight that it looks like this person was able to gather, of just kind of like double checking. I always tell my coaching clients that typically whatever you ask yourself about a thing, the answer is usually not the first answer you give yourself. You usually have to kind of double click, triple click to really get down to what's the why behind what you're doing. And I always say everything you do is when you're trying to figure out the decisions to make, it's not about whether or not it's the right thing to do. It's oftentimes what's the why behind it. So I love the insight here of just thinking about, why am I doing this? Because the act of joining this group in and of itself isn't problematic, right? But what am I doing it for? And so just encourage all of you, as you're making decisions day to day, ask yourself, what is the why behind what I'm doing? This actually reminds me of just a sort of an in and out challenge that I've had over the years of pushing myself to be try to stay in corporate worlds, when really corporate, there's so much about the corporate world that just doesn't jive with me. The stuffiness, the fakeness, the non-innovativeness of that world. But in my younger years, I was trying to still do it and felt like I needed to, and I realized it was that I felt like I would be more respected by, whoever, right? If I were in this space that I really didn't want to be in. So took me a lot to, and actually I kind of figured that out more than once, but took me a while to get myself to, um, I guess, move on from that, right? To actually like acknowledge that I don't want to do this, that it's not a good fit for me. And going back to, I think, our last Ask Dr. Joy, that issue of confidence is always at play, right? Because if you're feeling like you need validated, and let me just say again, and I think I said this last time, we all have that feeling. Like, it's not something you arrive to where you finally never feel like you need to be validated by others or you need to fit in. It's something more about learning how to work through that, because it's just part of being a human. I think of, humans want to be connected. We want to be accepted. So reminding yourself you're not everyone's cup of tea, you never will be, is important, as you work through that. So hopefully that answered that. And again, it really wasn't a question, but I think it's just a great reminder to the importance of asking ourselves what the why is behind what we're doing. Because again, it just might be an issue of timing, or it might be that it's just not for you because of your why.